Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show how I did this Vellum Grain Dust Impact effect using Houdini. I want to make this setup as simple as possible, as fast as possible. I did this setup in one day. So I want to like the reason why I want to make this setup is I want like if I'm getting some shot like this in production, I want to make sure I'll be able to replicate this setup in 3 to 4 hours. So there are so many things in so many places I didn't do anything procedurally. I just manually did it. So because I wanted a quick setup, so this is the quick setup. This is how it actually started. I actually started in a different way, like this, but ended up with a different results. Like ended up with another Vellum sim, something like this. All of these files are available in Gumroad, so you are free to download them and like play with them and like follow along if you really want to. Let's start explain how I did this. So initially I took a spear and I just added some noise and gave it some velocity and then used those as my point source pop for my pop sim. Then I got it's just basic pop sim, nothing like fancy, very like basic pop sim. Once I got that, this is what I got. So what I did was I used this, I converted them into VDB and I used the point velocity I'm getting from these points and converted them to well. So I can use it in my Vellum solver. Once I got that, I got a box, I remeshed it, and this is like basically placed where I want to place it. Then I used Vellum constraint grains. Then I had some attraction weight so it won't be seen everywhere. So I had some randomness, I had some noise, I changed some element size, I had some offset. This is all like very basic. Once that's done, I plugged all of this into my, I plugged all of this into my Vellum solver. With Vellum solver, I didn't go any crazy. It's because this is something I'm using it for static. Because I want the grains to be already be here to place it. It's easy to do it like this. I can just use a grid and scatter, but that won't look organic. But this way, I can make it look more organic. So this is like very basic Vellum sim. I did nothing crazy. So this is how the sim looked, and it's placed on the ground just like that. Oops, like this, yeah, just like that. And once that's done, I used the last frame. Like by the time I was actually doing this, I was actually not using 150 frames. I was just testing 100 frames. So I just changed now. So this is I'm just using the last frame, and again I converted it into Vellum grains, and here, like inside the Vellum solver, I used the pop and my volumes and I referenced this to the velocity we recently, like we created just before this volume velocity. So these grains are following the this pop. This let me actually reset my screen. These grains are actually following my pop velocity. So this is how it ended up looking. And I'm actually learning it from this camera. Let me actually get new scene, new viewer. Sometimes I don't know why we didn't use breaks. And this is how it done. Once I got that, I just got dust. This is just basic. I just used my grains as source and I sketched my dust source and I did basic dust simulation. When I did this, I felt like, wow, this is good. I can make a little bit more. I can make a sim where dust is coming onto the camera, like something like superhero landing just near the camera, so dust come into the camera, something like that. I did look at some references, then I was like, oh, let's do like more. But before that, I just had some debris. And this is again based on simulation to get the debris. Once this is done, then I got into the bigger setup. This is the setup I want to, like, this was not the plan, but I was like, if I can do this quickly, then let's try to improve more. Let's try to make it more like impactful. Because I'm gonna do some explosions project soon. I want to improve my timing. This is I'm doing this project so that it's a good practice for me to improve the timing. So I did like basic Houdini, just like falling like this. Just oops, basic Houdini, just falling. And then for the Vellum sim, this time I want to control it more. Before I was just doing one single box, but this time I want to control it because whenever I'm looking at references, there are so many references where some grains are directional, some are actually on the ground. So I want to control all of them. So I created two different columns, one grounded, one directional, and I packed both of them, and then source caged it, unpacked, and I did the same thing as what we did before. This is how it look, and I felt like, oh, this is a bit side, so I moved it later because I want it to be a quick setup. Like my idea is, if I get this task in production, I should be able to do it in 4 hours. That was the idea. So every decision I made in this setup is to make everything more quicker. So because as we grouped them before, I was able to split them now, split directional and grounded, and I had different velocities. Again, I could have done this more procedurally, but I wanted to be quick, so I just made groups based on like the boxes. Like I could have used something like cluster to make it more random, do something similar, add like different velocities. The reason why I had to add different velocities is when I didn't have them, it all looked more simple. Or simple is not the right word. There is no randomness. To add randomness, I had to add more velocity. And the other side didn't need it. So this is how it looked. And I was quite happy with how it got. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I saw in some references. So I started making dust. I deleted based on the attraction weight. Then it's all basic. I use trail and add node to get this kind of source so it will look more directional. And then I scattered them, and I felt like this is too, like there is no randomness. This is too straight, so I just add some point jitter. Then I removed based on the speed, and I removed based on this near points function. This is a trick I learned from a friend recently. So what this is all doing is, with this near points function, it's actually getting number, like you can give max number of points and max distance threshold and get number of points that are near to that single point in this distance. Like these mean you can put all of them into this list, and you can give a point threshold if that single point don't have 20, like more than 15 points in the list it's creating in this max threshold, distance threshold. I'm just removing it. that way I can just remove the small points where they feel isolated, because eventually I'm turning this into volume. If I leave them alone, it will look like the volume is creating out of thin air. I don't want that, so I just did this. Then this is just basic deletes to uh, delete some other points and catch the source. Then this pyrosim is nothing fancy, it's just very like basic. I had to use gas to put solver. But this one, in very basic forces, nothing, anything, nothing fancy. So very like basic. I just have sources, collisions, and some basic sources, basic forces, and this is how it actually ended up looking. It's exactly what how I actually wanted. So I'm like, cool, this is good, but I felt like there's not much coming in the back, and it's all dissipating by the end of the shot. It's not that much. So what I felt was, okay, let's do this. I used a delete mode to remove anything that's going up. Yes, again, I could have done this procedurally, but I want a very quick setup. So again, some manipulations, and after all that, I got the source like this, and this is how it looked. I had to make sure it's not splitting so quickly because I wanted to like stay still until the end of the video, because like in reality don't need to be, because if you look at my grains, all of my grains are going onto the camera. So in reality, all the dust is actually going towards the camera. So it's all behind the camera. So you don't need to stay in the camera. But in the shot, it was not looking good. It was looking like dust is just disappearing like that. So I wanted to like stay for longer. And also, there's more dust here, just falling here. It's not like all the dust, all the grains are coming onto the camera. So that's why I had to have another round dust sim, and it worked like charm. So it's good. And from here, it's just basic debris setup, nothing fancy. Again, I use the same hop and by volume, and I got the velocity volume from my first sim. And once I did all of that, I opened, I just got into LockNet and just rendered all of them together. Nothing fancy here. Look from the camera and try to render it out. Yeah, there is no velocity blur. I think I added it in this command under settings. If I now this. So this is the simplest setup for Vellum Grains in dust, that kind of effect. You can download this file free on Gumroad. It's in the link below. Feel free to download it. Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this, like my videos, comment to my videos, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you soon.